What's up and welcome to another episode of It's Tipp Topp Fishing. My name is Keaton and this is Wesley from Carpediem. Very excited to have Wesley on the show today. What we are going to do is we're going to show you the boat that ever since I started specimen fishing, I've always wanted to see and use and try out in my own fishing. So Wesley, what boat is that?
That would be the Kamo 360, Keaton.
Kamo 360.
That's it.
Now, when the Kamo 360 came out originally, it was groundbreaking because it was the first one to have that revolving, what did you call it?
The spinner, yeah.
The spinner. What does that do?
Well, that obviously just spreads the bait, I would say about a radius of 15 meters or so, depending what battery you're running on the boat. And yeah, it just gives you a bit of an unfair advantage that you've got all this bait around your hook bait.
So instead of dumping it all into one little spot, which most bait boats do, it usually just dumps it in a spot, and as the deeper you go, the more it spreads out. But there's no guarantee of how much your bait is going to spread out and if it's going to clump and then sit in one little pile. With a Kamo 360, you've got 15 meters, which is as if you've been out on a boat yourself and you've spread it out in a perfect circle. And then if you drop your bait with the hopper at the back, you've got your bait in the middle of that 15-meter radius. It makes a massive difference.
It does.
Tell me some of the features, I think.
So look here, we've got the spinner obviously. We've got 10mm high bright LEDs all around it. We've got gel coating in all the buckets now, which is an upgrade. So you can wash the bait off nicely after your session. And then we've got a new hook on the top of the lid for your remote to sit on, so you can easily not put it on the ground and get it wet, etc. Easier to load the bait bucket. And our boats are fully brushless systems. We've got a speed controller over 80 amps inside there. We've got battery backup, running on LiPo or lead acid.
So what is the difference between a brushless and a brush motor for those who don't know?
Speed for one.
Is it much faster?
Much faster on brushless. Obviously you've got more durability with the motor because it's more robust. Yeah, and then basically you can then also have the facility of using a LiPo or lead acid, so the customer is not limited to one sort of power source in the boat.
With the Kamo 360, the battery life, usually LiPos are more performance thing and the lead acid is more like a slow and steady thing. What's that like for the 360 itself?
So yeah, well the 360, like I said earlier, is the boat's built to a certain standard.
Yeah.
It can accommodate any power source up to 6 cell, although I wouldn't recommend anything higher than a 4. But yeah, you can put anything into the boat that's going to supply it with power, as long as it's not too heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so the LiPo is performance based. It's fast charge, fast discharge. You're probably going to get a good 3 runs until you're at a safe limit, and then you're going to recharge the battery within 40 minutes. You're off again. That would come with a C1 RX charger. So that charger you can plug into a 12-volt supply, or your battery on your car,
Okay.
solar panels, whatever you've got running at the bank. You can charge that battery up within 40 minutes and off you go again. So when I fish personally, I've got 2 mains and I'm just rotating between the 2 and there I'm off I go. Lead acid, obviously you've got maybe a bit more longevity out of it, but you're going to be charging for hours on end. That's why the LiPo is so popular.
Okay.
We've also got Li-on options. We've got the 1800 amp hour Li-on batteries that are also used in the Specimen Pro bait boat. That's also an option, and that also has more durability and also reasonably a fast charge on that. And then obviously we've got all our extra accessories that we can then put onto the boat, GPS, fish finder, whatever you want, we've got that in-house.
Okay, so that's the GPS where you can set your spots.
Plot your spots, automatic navigation to the spot, automatic retrieval, so it'll come back automatically as well, depending what unit you go with.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got something for everything. All right, so we're going to take the boat out to a waypoint. We've got point number 10 saved. Enter there, autopilot to target, go, there we go, boat's on its way to its position. 12 meters, 5 meters, spot on, and we drop our bucket. And then we just return home again. That's coming back. There's your direction arrow. "12 meters to home." Home arrived.
what's nice about these Kamo 360s, it's a South African made product. So the guys that have made this product have made it for South African waters. Now, some bait boats like the Catch X, for example, that I did in the last one, is pretty much designed for European calmer waters. It's not that fast, it can't really handle that much hectic weather patterns, but the Kamo 360 is made at home. So if you've got quite a lot of wind, quite a lot of chop, quite a lot of hectic weather, the Kamo 360 can handle that. That's why it's been such a successful boat, and I think it's the benchmark for boats in South Africa. People go, is it better or worse than the 360? And the 360 is one of the top boats in my opinion that you can get, and it's quite good for your bang for buck. Today we've got one that is obviously in camo, which is quite cool for the name. What are your standard colors, and then what colors could you offer?
So standard colors, I'm going to try and remember all of them. So we've got the yellow, the red, the dark, what's a royal blue, there's a light blue, there's the lime green, and there's an orange.
Okay.
Standard colors. And then the hydro dipping, there's really no limit to that. You could do a custom design if you wanted to. We dip the hole before we build the boat, so you could do a logo, whatever, but obviously with that comes a cost. We have to get it designed, etc., and it's a bit more of a lengthier process to have all that done.
You did one with a rugby team.
Yeah, so we're busy with a Blue Bulls colour now, so
That's cool.
we'll knock that one out the park. And and then obviously on my boat I've got the Kamo hydro dip, which you'll see later on.
How big is it about?
It's about 90 centimeters long,
Okay.
so it's not too big, it's manageable.
Yes.
And the nice thing as well, it's just got one handle, so you don't have to lean down and grab the boat with two hands. You can have the remote in one hand and pick the boat up. So that's also something unique versus the other boats in the market, is that you only have to pick it up with the one hand.
And that sounds like a silly thing, but when you're on the bank by yourself and you've got a rod in one hand and you have to move your boat into the water, it makes things a lot faster and easier, and then your lines don't get caught up as quickly. A 90 centimeter boat is quite a nice balance between having a boat that you can fit in your boot, but also a boat that you can see at 500 meters. Now, I don't think people realize how far 500 meters is until your boat looks this big and you can't really see if it's straight or back or whatever, as if it's facing you or not. The Kamo 360's got a nice red light on the front, so you can always see which direction it's pointing.
Yeah, and one other thing to mention is the boat has got no PVC stand. I don't know if you noticed that. So every other boat you get, there's no PVC stand. It just stands on its own feet on the ground, and those feet also give it stability in the water.
That makes a huge difference.
It does, yeah.
So you don't have to carry a stand, boat, this, that, boat, and it's a remote that sits on the boat, and then you're donezo Washington.
Exactly.
And then lastly is your remote. Your remote for the 360, it comes with it, right?
Correct. So it comes with a i6X remote.
That's a good one.
It's probably the best remote locally at the moment. Well known, everyone uses them on the bait boats. It's not an entry-level remote. So with our boat, I've said it before, with many other stuff, is goedkoop is dierkoop, right? So
Yes.
This thing has it all. You don't have to upgrade anything on the boat. It's ready to go. The only thing you're going to add is accessories, fish finders, GPS, etc. But yeah, the remote, I've personally pushed mine to about 420 meters, around about there, and I basically couldn't see the boat hardly anymore, but I still had signal. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't really want to go further than that. Guys want long ranges because you don't want to run out of signal, but if you had 420 and you still got a strong signal, the boat's going to come back, as well as it's got, with your version, it's got a GPS redundancy system. Is like, as in, if it loses connection, it'll just come back.
Correct, yeah. So if you're using our all-in-one remote, which you see on the Specimen Pro boat, Pro, we incorporate that remote into the Kamo and into any boat really.
You can.
Yeah.
So that one has got an automatic switch. If it disconnects completely, it just comes home. So you're almost guaranteed to get your bait boat back every time. Which, when you're investing quite a bit of money into the system that you want to last for a long time, it's a nice thing to have. Like I know with drones and stuff like that, as soon as you disconnect, your heart starts beating really fast, and then you all of a sudden really love that return to home. Oh, there it is, it's coming back. Whew! Like I said, this boat is a fantastic boat for anyone who is in South Africa. Do you sell to guys overseas?
There is a market for it, but yeah, we have been doing that.
So if you guys are overseas and you want something a bit tougher than your regular boat, a bit more reliable and a bit faster and with an awesome way of spreading out bait, the Kamo 360 is the one for you. So Wesley, this Kamo 360, it's a fantastic boat. Say I want one. How do I get one?
Well, it's quite easy, Keaton. We've got an online store, so you go to www.carpediemonline.co.za. I'm sure the comments will be somewhere below.
Yeah, it'll be in the
It'll be somewhere down there. And yeah, my telephone number is 082 337 6354. You just give me a call and yeah, I'll help you out.
So thank you so much for watching. Thanks Wes for coming on the channel and showing us your cool boat.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for having me, man.
So yeah, this is great. Thanks so much to the patrons for always helping me create content. And yeah, till next time.
Cheers.
Tight lines, guys.